Hi everyone. Just give you an update on last night's Great Tommy Sleep Out, which took place yesterday, last night at Stopfold Football Club. A great welcome from the Royal British Legion, the local British Legion, Phil and the guys there. They were all very, very welcoming, and surprised that someone from Civvy Street should want to do a sponsored sleep out for their charity. So it was really good. I set up a camp bed and a sleeping bag and a little inflatable pillow between the seats of the in the stand, right at the front of the stand, so sort of a couple of seats up. The camp bed managed to fit directly between there quite snugly. The trouble is the camp bed had metal legs and the floor was metal, so every time I moved on that camp bed there was a clunking noise and a banging noise, which I was very self-conscious of. It was a clear night and I could see the stars. Whenever I looked up, I could see the stars, even though the stand was above me. It was barely above me, so I could see the stars, and you can hear all the sounds around you. You can hear the noise of the traffic, you can hear the noises of cars driving fast, and you can hear the noises of people shouting and enjoying themselves in the distance, and foxes and rustling of other God knows what, and snoring from other people. But anyway, it was a strange night because it was really, really cold, and I think I learned quite quickly that if you buy what looks like a decent sleeping bag at a budget, you can only expect it not to be terribly good when it comes to keeping you warm. And I found that I got cold quite quickly. My feet got very cold quickly, even though I had big thick socks on, and my hands got very cold, even with gloves, which I was wearing, like thermal gloves, and my head got very cold to the point where I was pulling my hat right down over my face, just to stop the cold. Luckily I had a couple of hand warmers which Vanessa very kindly put in for me, and they were fabulous. Once I start working I was able to stick them in my gloves, and they started warming my hands up. My sleeping bag was an absolute utter pain in the neck. I couldn't get it to sort of cover me really, and I kept waking up with it pulled off and unzipped and all sorts of other things that you do when you toss and turn at night. So I woke up a couple of times really, really cold, and took a long time to get warm again, and you're trying to put other clothes on whilst you're in a sleeping bag. It's ludicrous. So I think got to sleep at about 2:15 and woke up at about 4, and then woke up at about 5:15, and then finally at sort of 5:45, 6 o'clock, and then by 6:15 I noticed that everybody had got up and a lot of people had gone. There was tea and coffee laid on, and sort of said my goodbyes and went. So thank you everybody to who sponsored me. It was really appreciated. The British Legion really appreciated it as well. They were very impressed. I think currently it's at £720, which is quite happily can rise. If we can get thousands, well, that'd be marvellous, because I get some sort of super duper gold badge that I can sew on my sleeping bag or whatever, for fundraising. What it did kind of highlight was how unpleasant it is to sleep outside. I've got a bit of a cold anyway, so you end up feeling a bit rough. It's very cold. It was 2 degrees, which is not that cold for a winter time. In the winter it's going to be in minus, and you're going to be absolutely frozen. And keeping warm is very, very difficult, especially if you're in the middle of a town or somewhere populated. So it did kind of highlight how quite unpleasant it can be quite free. It's quite liberating being able to look up at the sky, sort of without any guilt. Do you know what I mean? But it's also, you feel very vulnerable. It's stupid things like, you know, you don't have your hand to things that you need. So, you know, I was trying to open the hand warmer and I used my teeth and I ended up breaking a filling on my teeth trying to open a hand warmer, just purely because you didn't have a pair of scissors to hand or whatever. Um, Although it's probably a weak filling and it can get fixed again, it still highlighted to me how, you know, alone you can be. What also impressed me was that there was about 10 other people there, and they were generally ex-forces, and it showed me how they hadn't forgotten their training, and they were hunkered down, warm and snoring and quiet within seconds of going to bed. These people, you know, they were just asleep immediately. They knew what they were doing, and they got all their kit together. And there was a variety of people, a variety of different kit there. There's people with there's a guy there, Phil, with a basher, and there were other people with camping beds and fishing beds and all kinds of things like that. But they literally knew what they were doing, and I didn't, which is why I was probably so cold. And it's quite scary, really, being cold and not being able to keep warm, even with gloves on, and trying to put jumpers on and stuff like that in the middle of the night without crashing and banging around and waking everybody up and irritating them. So there you are, it's done now. I've done my sleep out, and I might do it next year. Who knows? They're a really nice bunch of people at the British Legion. You know, they're all people my age, maybe some of them younger, and they're all really nice guys that have, in many ways, gone through it. You know, these people have been on tours of Iraq and Afghanistan and things like that. And you know, they're coming out the other side, and they're really, really nice, rounded people. So there you go. So that was it. And there's a plane coming overhead, vibrating the whole place. So yeah, there you go. Sorry to waffle on, but this is my last post. I will add some. There should be some other images of the night attached to this video, but yet again, you know, thank you very much to all the people that sponsored. There were quite a lot of people, but all of those sponsors, all those sponsorships were really, really appreciated. So thank you very much. And yeah, sorry to bother you. You know, I do these things sometimes, and it comes from a good place. You know, people say to me, said to me, why don't we look after our own? Many people have said that. Why don't we look after our own? Well, that's what I did. You know, by raising this money, we looked after our own. So if you can still sponsor, you know, sponsor very much, just as much as you can afford. It's a couple of quid. It's very easy to do. You can do it via my link, which is revw.uk/GTSO. That's revw.uk/GTSO. And yeah, if you want to sponsor, you've got, I think, probably another 2 months that you can do it within. But yeah, crack on, and thanks very much for your time.